Hey everybody, I'm Tommy, that's Drew.
Drew, hi.
Clint is recording. We're going to tell you how to supervise softball. So just to make sure we're all on the same page with everything, we're going to go through stuff to help refresh your memory. It's been a while since we've been out here and had softball going since last fall, and some of you that didn't work last fall, it's been even longer. So we're going to go through how to do all this stuff. The first thing you'll do is go to the field house office, E216, and pick up the big bin for softball. It'll have the printer, the laptop, the sport box, get all that stuff, and go ahead and come on out here to the softball complex. You'll park in the back, and you'll unlock both gates once you get in, the back gate to the complex and the front gate to the complex. You'll use the 2002 key to unlock both of those padlocks. Next, you will come down the walkway into this wonderful room here. It's labeled 108. The key you'll use to get into this room is key 104, and this will kind of be your headquarters for the rest of the night. Drew, what do they do once they're in this room?
Alright, so once you get in this room here, as you can see, we have all of our equipment stored right here. Strike mats are going to need to be taken out to the fields and set up. That's going to be fields 2, 3, and 4. We will not use the field the Iowa women's team plays on.
This is what the strike mat looks like.
That is what it looks like. Behind this right here, behind this chair, there is an outlet. That is where you're going to plug in the extension cord. And this extension cord will wrap around outside, where we will have the stuff set up, and so you can just plug in the extension cord there. And this door right here does not unlock. You cannot unlock it at all, so do not leave the keys in here and let this door close. So keep the keys on you at all times or in the sport box outside of this room.
You can use this green thing to hold it open. Clint, if you show that there, you can see how we just kind of loop that around the handle. That'll keep it open, but yeah, if you leave the keys in here and you let this door shut, you got a problem. There will also be a table in here beginning on Monday, March 30th. So you'll need to set up the table outside like we did last fall for those of you that worked. For those of you that didn't work, you just kind of set up the table outside this door here. Grab a couple of chairs, but we don't want you in the chairs too often while you're supervising softball. Again, be up, be active, be visible. Take the A-frame sign out and set that somewhere visible to a lot of people, maybe in the walkway, something like that, as they're coming in, so they can see the sports that we have left this spring. As far as equipment, we have bats out here. Don't give bats to teams unless they ask. But the softballs, you can see we have a couple boxes of brand new softballs. Each field will get one new softball per night. We'll also have some used softballs out here beginning on Monday. So each field will get one brand new softball per night, and then the rest they can use used ones. But if we use brand new ones for every game or multiple a night, we'll go through those pretty quickly.
And with those bats, make sure we take an ID if we give them a bat. So we don't want our bats walking off. We only have a few of them in that bag, so make sure that we take an ID from them before we give them a bat.
All right, so after you've got everything set up from this room, the table set up, computers going, printers ready to go, umpires will start showing up. Check them in, make sure you can have them take their strike mats to their fields. But we also need to get the scoreboards turned on and get them scoreboard controls. So also in this room, up here on one of these two counters will be the scoreboard controls. They're labeled which field, 2, 3, and 4. And to use them, that one's already on. They're all already on. You unplug them, and they're in this little case. To turn it on, you just push this button down here that says on off. That turns it on, and once it goes through its process, it should automatically turn on the scoreboard for that field. So this is labeled 3. The scoreboard for field 3, which is this middle field right here, is now on. And then it's pretty basic. You can just ball, strike, out. Inning is on here somewhere, right there. Home runs, home team runs, guest runs, all that stuff should be pretty simple to work. So yeah, pretty basic. Make sure the umpires know they need to take care of these. These cost $400 to replace. So we obviously don't want them just throwing them around. We want them taking care of them. At the end of the night, to turn them off, you just push the on-off button and hold it, and it'll take a few seconds and it will power down. The scoreboard will not turn off right away. It takes 5 or 10 minutes for the scoreboard to turn off after the handheld control is off. But if you got the control off, the scoreboard will turn off eventually. All right, when umpires check in, it's pretty simple. Just check them in like we normally would for any other sport. Circle that time if they're there on time. Write down if they're late. All that same stuff as we've been doing all year. But for softball, we'll need to give them a few things. We need to make sure that they have a scoreboard control like we talked about earlier. We need to make sure that plate brushes are given out, clickers are given out, and scorebooks. The teams will use the scorebooks, pass it back and forth to keep track of the running score, but the umpires will also keep track of that on the scoreboard. So make sure the umpires have all those things are set to go. They can take their strike mats out to the field and get ready to play some softball. During your shift, obviously, like we said before, we want you to be active and visible. The fields go, if you walk out of the room we were just in, 4, 3, and 2. So make sure we've got field grids taped to the table, stuff like that, so teams can check and know what fields they're supposed to play on. As supervisors, you are responsible for checking in the participants as they arrive on their score sheet, so make sure somebody's ready to do that. And then it's basically just normal supervising game, watching for injuries, watching the umpires, giving them feedback. The only thing that will be a little different that you have to pay attention to as we go through the night will be watching our daylight. And when we're getting low on daylight, we need to get those lights turned on.
All right, so here we are at the light box, which is right next to field 3. So if you come and take a look here, these just open up like this. And so we need lights for field 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so over here it says Hawkeye softball. Don't ever touch any of this stuff over here. That's for the varsity softball team. We do not ever need to touch that. Over here we've got field 2. So everything that says field 2 here, we're going to turn that on. So there, 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 and there. Down here is press box. We are never ever going to touch press box. That includes the refrigerator and everything like that. So if we turn that off, all of Aramark's food goes bad and we get in a lot of trouble. So don't ever touch the press box light switch. Okay? And then if you come around to the other side here, there's another set of lights that control field 3 and 4. And as you can see, the same thing as field 2. Again, you don't touch ticket office, but you can't really touch that because it's locked. So you'll turn these on. So right now you can see where they say off. It's green right there. And then when you flip them on, it'll say on. And then they're kind of hard. You kind of have to push them pretty hard, but they'll turn on. And then at the end of the night, just make sure we turn all these off. Do not leave without turning the lights off. So here we go. It's hard to put it. There you go. That's on. And then turn it off. Off. Alright, so that is turning on and off the lights on field 2, 3, and 4.
Alright, we're back at our home base here. I'm going to talk about some closing procedures, but first we want to revisit our opening procedures. And one thing that we forgot, after you get stuff set up and kind of at the beginning of the shift, very near the beginning of it, we need you to unlock the restrooms as well. So the men's restroom is right around from our home base, so to speak, right here. The women's is in the same spot on the other side. So if coming out of the our homeroom, you go to the right, you can get to the women's restroom. Use the 104 key to unlock this and make sure that's done before participants start arriving so they can use the restroom if they need to. The end of play, after you sign all the officials out and all that stuff, we need to get the strike mats, make sure those are brought back, shaken off, so we're not piling a bunch of dirt back in our room here. So wipe those off on the grass or whatever you need to do. Get our strike mats back in here. Get our table, chairs, everything we brought out of this room back into this room. We need to take our scoreboard controls and plug them back in. So, Drew, if you come in here, you'll see there's these charging boxes, and you just plug it in to the top of the control there. And then an important part to make sure they're all three plugged in, and then this dial here. You have to turn this dial to 4 so that the controls will charge enough for the next night. That's a very important part. If you just plug them in and you do not turn the dial, they will not charge and we will not be able to use them the next night. So make sure that you're remembering to turn that dial and get those charging again. After that, pack everything back up in the bin and get that ready to take back to the field house. Right on the supervisor report what time your shifts end. We do not have a time clock out here anymore, so that is how we will know what to write on your time cards for your hours worked and get you paid for that stuff. If you have any questions, you can contact, obviously, Drew, Clint, or me. If there's anything that we've gone over in this video that doesn't make sense, or while you're out here, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at any time. When you've got everything packed up, you're ready to go, ready to get out of here, make sure you lock the front gate, and then leave through the back gate and lock that back gate behind you when you leave. Like we talked about before, this door will stay locked automatically, so all you need to do is shut this door. You do need to relock the bathroom doors to make sure those are locked up, and basically just make sure everything in the facility is secure. Turn the lights off right before you leave and go ahead and head out. Like I said, have any questions, let us know. After you've watched this video, please email Drew, Clint, and me to let us know that you have watched this video and you're all squared away on how to supervise intramural softball.